A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, galaxy of intellectuals, invited guests, faculty members, and all the participants from different departments, colleges, universities, states, and countries. We welcome you all to the two-day faculty development program on academic publications and project funding opportunities. We take this opportunity to thank our management for backing up us and organizing this two-day faculty development program successfully. Welcoming is an art of packing gifts of smiles. As Shakespeare rightly says, small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. We invite our most respected professor, Dr. V. Emmanuel, to deliver the welcome address. So please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, all. I deem it a privilege to welcome you to this special program on academic publications and funding opportunities. When we actually started discussing about conducting a useful FDP to faculty, we stumbled upon various topics. We finally settled down to academic publications and funding opportunities as it is the need of the hour. College teaching in India is anymore largely dependent on these two areas, publications and funding opportunities. So we believe this program will be useful to us all. The department is profoundly thankful to the university officials who permitted us to conduct this wonderful program. I'd like to thank Dr. P. Kamaraj, Dean, Science and Humanities, for his regular academic counsels, Dr. G. Madhubala, Head, Science and Humanities, for her valuable support throughout. It's my privilege to invite both speakers to this program, Dr. Jayanti Rajendran and Dr. Beena Anil. Today's session will be handled by Dr. Jayanti Rajendran. She is a scholar of international repute, and we invite to listen to her. Friends, I'm extremely happy about the small team that's working at Bharat University with the English department. I'm happy to welcome Dr. Jay Shanti, the convener of the program, and the members of the faculty who are the actual strength behind the program. Friends, I'm excited over the over the number of participants. We have received an overwhelming response from within the state, from other states and from other countries as well. We earlier thought the program is gaining momentum at the national level. Now we are truly international. We have registrations from other countries as well. Therefore, I take pleasure in welcoming each participant to this program that would offer guidance in the areas of publication and research and funding opportunities. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That was really a lush carpet of welcome. We are fortunate to have an encouraging and kind personality with wit as the Dean of Science and Humanities, who tells us to dream big and never quit. It's time for felicitation. We now request the commendable academician, magnanimous and the valiant Dean of School of Science and Humanities, Dr. P. Kamaraj, to address the gathering. So please, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm indeed very happy to address this gathering. It is really a strong requirement in academic institutions for bringing out publications, academic publications, and also research funding for want of accreditation. Not only accreditation, but also to strengthen the research of the individuals and the teams in various fields. So, any institution is expecting their accredited status to be on the top. So, in that way, to carry out the research, funding is important. So, as a result of getting funds and carrying out the research, it is enabling the researcher to go for publications and patents. So, in order to go up in the career for any individual faculty member in any academic institutions, it is very important to publish papers. So, for publishing papers, we need to do research. For doing research, we need funding. So for funding, how to get funds? So that is very, very important. So in that way, I am really very happy that the Department of English is organizing this FDP, which focuses on how to write or how to achieve good publications in impact journals and how to get funds to do research from various funding agencies. So in that way, today the topic is on academic publications, that two Scopus indexed publications to be delivered by Dr. Jayanti Rajendran, our respected guest of the day, who is going to deliver the talk on this particular topic. I am on behalf of the School of Science and Humanities, I welcome you, madam. So with these few words, I congratulate Dr. Emmanuel and his team, particularly the coordinators, the co-coordinators, all the faculty members who are involved, and the participants from various institutions, as well as even the participants from other countries too. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the felicitation. So now it's the time to introducing our chief guest.
Dear participants, Dr. Meenakshi Kulkarni, she posted one message and that she cannot see anything. And another staff also posted voice is not clear. Dear participants, are you able to listen? Are you able to see what is there on the screen? Because as this FDP is supposed to be an enhancement program, especially regarding academic publications, please inform us if there is any problem in your visibility of the screen or audio.
You are audible also and visible also. The voice is clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So a great soul needs no introduction, but we deem it as our pleasure and privilege to introduce today's guest of honor, Professor of English, to introduce our chief guest to the gathering. Ma'am, kindly unmute your mobile.
Yes, yes.
It's hard for us to imagine today, but this is the kind of scenario that many of us still have no idea how to publish papers in Scopus indexed journals. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Jayanti Rajendran, Professor and Head of the Department of English, Language and Linguistics, Savitha School of Engineering, CIMATS, Chennai. Graduated from Madras Christian College, she is a proven professional with over 15 years of teaching experience and counseling culturally diverse undergraduate and postgraduate students. She was awarded PhD from the University of Madras in the year 2012. She has work experience from India 8 years and abroad for nearly 8 years. She is driven to inspire students to achieve personal and academic success and has profound experience in facilitating language learning among various levels of learners. She has published papers in Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals. She has contributed as a resource person for international conferences, seminars, and has conducted various workshops on LEP. She is a trained IELTS and TOEFL professional. She is currently a member of English Language Teachers Association of India, LTI, and the Asian Society of Research Association, ASAR. Her areas of specialization includes literature and English language teaching. Now, I would like to welcome the erudite scholar, Dr. Jayanti Rajendran, to enlighten us with her wide knowledge of Scopus Index Journal. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction about me. Hope my voice is clear.
Yes, madam.
Yes, your voice is clear.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
Thank you so much. And my gratitude to professors at Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research for providing me this platform and giving me an opportunity to share my experience and a talk on Scopus Index journals. And I also thank the Dean of Bharat University and other professors who are behind this program. And I think this program is definitely going to help the scholars, especially the academicians, to get enlightened, to know about various things regarding publications. And I also extend my warm greetings to all the participants who are here for today. And it was an overwhelming participation from your side. I really thank the host of the program of today. And I also thank Dr. Emmanuel for extending this opportunity, and Dr. Jayashanti. My special thanks to everyone who are here. And before we begin this session, I had to do a little of research as how I can take this topic to you. As you all know, currently these are the words that are just lingering around us wherever we turn to. Though I cannot hear you, but I can mind read. I mean, the words like research, publication, journals, and of course Scopus Index is the terms that are being spoken widely around in the academic areas. And nowadays it's become mandatory that to be in this profession you have to have paper publications in Scopus Index journals or Web of Science for that matter. And when we want to publish our papers, or when we want to get ourselves known to others, there is a platform through which we can do it. And Scopus is another term which has become very trendy nowadays, which is spoken in the nook and corners as we turn around. And what is this Scopus, and how does it work, and why is this it's often spoken about, and what it is? So all that we are going to see in this or here in this webinar is what is Scopus and how it can really help the researchers or the scholars, the students, and the academicians. And also we are going to see about the features of the Scopus and how we can get our papers published with my experience and a brief research into this. I'm going to share with you today. Ma'am, can I have my PPTs being shared?
Yes, ma'am. We'll share it.
Okay. If you could
Yes,
make
it is shared, ma'am.
the full screen, of course, could be a better
Full screen.
option. Yes, ma'am. are you able to make it? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I'm Dr. Jayanti Rajendran from Savita Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences, and I bring greetings to every one of you here. And the topic that I'm going to speak is about Scopus indexed, a good parameter for journal publication. This is the need of the hour. So this is what we are going to look into, and going to give you some ideas of what Scopus is. So as you all know, the need of the hour, or what is important from the side, from the point of the researchers or the academicians, is researchers need high quality journals. That is something which is very mandatory. So apart from this, there are also something which is called poor quality and predatory journals, which are a real threat to the integrity of science. So as we know, each and every one of us in this profession wants our articles or our papers to be published in a very high quality journals, which is a kind of recognition for us. While poor quality journals may be easy to identify from a publication performance perspective, so there are lots and lots of journals which is very predatory in nature, trying to gain out of others, of and just denying our rights of getting into the right publication. So we have to be very careful in selecting such journals, and also choosing the
I
right.
didn't catch that. Could you try again?
They might be, the real good research papers may not be a threat to integrity of science, and possibly serve niche areas or specific research communities. Ma'am, next slide. Yes. As we begin, I'm sure that there are so many research scholars and authors, of course, who are very new to this area of publication. As novice authors, you still need to consider placing your article in journals where the aims and scope mesh with your topic. There's a platform in which you should know how it can be placed. If you're in a very new field, or you may be hard pressed to find a journal index with good database, for which we need to really go about with what is called searching for good journals, or journals which are indexed in different database, which could really gain insight into or which would gain us importance as a researcher. So there are different database which would definitely help us. So for the people who are the beginners should understand where and how to publish papers, and how to gain importance. It is not just writing a paper. I know it takes a lot of effort to write a paper, and then after writing such articles and papers, we really want our papers to be published in a good journal, which is obviously should be indexed in Scopus or WOS or EBSCO and so on. So in order to get our papers published in right journals, and which is rightly indexed, we need to have a little survey on how it is being done. For which I'm going to take you to a journey where it's going to make your job easy. So when I started my career as as a professor, we had less knowledge of what Scopus indexed journals were. We weren't much into what was right now, which has been open to every one of us. but then it was a very tough time when we entered in that area, and it wasn't that very easy to get our works published in such reputed journals, which has been indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. So all that as new authors or beginners you have to look in for is the different criterias and areas where you have to really be keen in understanding how to get it published. So I'll just go step by step to make you understand. And finally, if you have any questions, you're always free to ask me, and whatever to my experience and to my knowledge, I'll be able to share my my ideas and answers to it. Yes, now we are moving to indexing. So you would have heard about indexing. It should be scientific indexed, or it should be indexed under Scopus. So what is indexing? The indexing, or it reflects the quality of the research paper, how good the research paper is. The popular indexation services are, I have jotted few here: Medline, PubMed, Embase, Scopus, EBSCO, Thomson Reuters, and WOS Web of Science, and SCI, which is Science Citation Index, Cyrus, etc. So these are a few to name. This, especially Science Citation Index, is highly reputed indexing for research publications. And Scopus indexing stands next to this order, and the Scopus indexing belongs to the Elsevier journal. So it is like indexing tells you how good the research paper is, or rather it is the quality of the research paper. And I have shown you here some of the indexing that we have normally: Scopus, SJR, DOAJ, we have EBSCO, we have Web of Science, and just name few, right? Google Scholar, Crossref. So these are the indexing which normally demands a good quality paper. And if only the paper is qualified for their scope, they are ready to publish it in their journals, which is indexed under such indexing. So it is very important, it's not just writing a paper, it should have the quality and what you take it to the society. And I would like to talk about the types of database. The oldest of the databases is WOS, founded by Eugene Garfield, and released by the Institute of Scientific Information in 1964 as the Science Citation Index, as we call it as SCI. And over the time, the SCI was expanded and became what is now WOS, or as we call Web of Science. And now this WOS is managed by Clarivate, which is, as we call the master Clarivate. So it has been, WOS is now, as we call it, as changed its name to Clarivate, which has been, which has taken up this name. In 2004, Elsevier launched Scopus. So Elsevier describes Scopus as the most comprehensive overview of world's research outputs, which has been curated by a panel of subject matter experts. And the other thing is, Scopus is intended to be the largest possible database of research items of sufficient quality. Scopus then differs from WOS in few a matter which really talks about is WOS forsakes quantity for quality, while Scopus attempts to achieve a balance of both. So there depends, the quality and the quantity, as it is able to balance, and that is how it has achieved its prominence. Both Elsevier and Clarivate Analytics offer their databases via subscription. In 2018, a recent indexing for digital science and 6 of its portfolio businesses released Dimensions. This is another new indexing, which is not in the sense new, it's been from 2018. As of Elsevier or Scopus in the WS, we have Dimensions. in response to issues they saw with the current bibliometric databases. So it is the database which has, this kind of indexing to prove that journals have good quality of research papers. And when I talk about Elsevier and Scopus, there may be a question in your mind. Is there any difference between Elsevier and Scopus? To answer this question, both are subscription access scientific literature databases owned by the publisher of Elsevier. Elsevier, this is a Scopus which is being owned by Elsevier Journal itself. But Science Direct hosts the full text of Elsevier content, whereas Scopus includes just the abstracts and the citation statistics. So about both Elsevier and non-Elsevier content. So it has the databases of abstracts and citations. And the next is Elsevier is a renowned publisher, neither an indexing service nor a full text database. But Scopus is an indexing database or a service that belongs to Elsevier. So you should be very clear in this. So Elsevier is, Scopus is a part of, it is under Elsevier. It is an indexing database which belongs to Elsevier, which has the abstracts and the citation details of the database. And the Science Direct is a full text database platform that belongs to Elsevier. So Scopus also belongs to Elsevier, which provides the database platform for your abstracts and citations. When Science Direct is a full text database platform that belongs to Elsevier, and much of its contents are consisted with the publications published by Elsevier. And the next. So then what is Scopus? If you're wondering about what is Scopus, and your answer is right away, as you could move to the next slide. Yes, no, next slide, please. Yes. So the answer is Scopus can be described as a bibliographic database comprising abstracts and sources for scientific papers and research articles. So you should be knowing what is a database. It's a collection of data which has all these abstracts and sources for scientific papers, citations, etc. So it includes millions of inscriptions from popular publishers all over the globe, all over the world, of course. It has so many millions of inscriptions. Scopus is also the most extensive database of publications and convention proceedings. Here I'm just talking about Scopus because my focus is on Scopus index, but we have other part of databases, right, which is also equally that of Scopus as well. But here we are, since I'm talking about the Scopus indexing parameters, I'm just concentrating on this particular database. So this Scopus, it presents a detailed summary of the outcomes of global surveys conducted in the disciplines of engineering, medicine, sociological studies, and other innovative research undertakings from a variety of different fields. So Scopus is a highly sought after indexing database by millions of researchers, scientists, and scholars worldwide. And scholars, the worldwide reasons for which are highlighted or which is highlighted in the So Scopus is a database of scholarly journal titles and was launched in 2004 by Elsevier to track. Ma'am, could you just go to the previous slide? Yeah, Scopus is the database of scholarly journal titles and was launched in 2004 by Elsevier to track the world's research output across disciplines. And it has been rated as one of the top 5 databases for academic research by university libraries worldwide, with over 20 million records from more than 7,800 publishers worldwide. So it is a huge number actually. So Scopus abstracts and indexes, which is, 125,000 plus peer-reviewed journals from 30,000 plus publishing organizations around the world, covering 95% plus of all scholarly content published today on a broad range of subjects, including arts and humanities, biological sciences, and business. So it is a very huge database which covers the entire area of science and arts. So Scopus and its scope, as we can talk about Scopus, what is the scope of a Scopus is the ability to find scientific research is just as important as its quality. So what Scopus does is it fosters the easy discovery of research and enables researchers to claim their work. This is very important, ensuring proper accreditation and supporting career development. This is very important from the point of publication. The power of Scopus, I have just given you a picture which tells us the articles, which is 75 million records from journals, books, and we have almost 12 million author profiles, and which has been affiliated to 70,000 profiles, affiliation profiles. So the data that goes into Scopus follows the model that articles are written by authors who are affiliated with institutions. So if you're an author who are affiliated to any of the universities or institutions, you can publish the articles. This is the record of it is the model that is being taken into consideration with the articles written by the authors who are affiliated to different institutions. This relational data model means that Scopus can tell you who is researching what in global literature and where they are doing it with higher accuracy than anyone else. So this gives us a very clear idea and a place where you can easily find from which institution who the researcher is, what are they doing. So it is an easy platform to get the database of who are doing what. And moving on to publishing. So knowing about a Scopus, which is highly a very popular term nowadays, publishing in Scopus is an important academic endeavor. So anybody, you just reach to them and the immediate question that is asked to them is how many research papers have you published in Scopus indexed. This is the criteria even when when they recruit people for this profession, especially into teaching and research. They expect a good number of papers to be published in Scopus indexed journals. So publishing in Scopus is an important academic endeavor. The journal provides a platform for the world's leading academics to publish their research, and it also offers better visibility of your work. Scopus is a database or a platform which can help you, the visibility of your work. A higher rank will be given to articles that are published in Elsevier journals, including Scopus indexed ones. So publishing in Scopus has many benefits for researchers and faculty members alike. So it is not just only for researchers; it is for the faculty who are into publishing their articles in Scopus indexed journals. As I told you, it increases your visibility and creditability. Both are equally important. It is not just only the visibility, it also increases your creditability. It is, of course, where everyone needs this credit of getting it published. So Scopus indexes over 25,000 journals. There is also, you can always contact me for getting these kind of, the list of journals which are covered under Scopus. There are a list of journals which are covered under Scopus, and it says there are more than 25,000 and 5,000 publishers across the globe. Therefore, publishing in Scopus can help you get recognition from researchers all around the world for your work. So it is you get recognized when you publish your articles in Scopus indexed. So publishing in Scopus will also provide you with a scientific H index. I'll just brief you on what is a H index, which measures research productivity. The index considers both published papers and citations received by those papers. So publishing in Scopus will allow you to be recognized as an expert on whatever topic it is that you are researching or writing about. So you may have a different idea. Some may do it in literature, some in science, some in arts and humanities. So the areas are wide, but whatever you write, if it is a quality paper, then it is easy for you to get recognized. And this could be a platform through which you could get your credits. This can lead to new opportunities for collaboration with others who share similar interests, as well as an increased funding opportunities through grants and fellowships. I think this will be touched upon tomorrow by Dr. Bina on research funding and other grants that will definitely help get your articles published. So benefits of publishing in Scopus. Publishing in Scopus can help you reach a wide audience and receive a recognition for your research. Publishing in open access journal will also help you secure funding from institutions such as NIH. Hope Dr. Bina will help you with this for tomorrow's program. So it is good if you could publish in Scopus Index, which will definitely gain you credit and visibility and also recognition. Yes, as we move to the next slide. Yes, the benefits. Scopus allows you to showcase your research and accomplishments in the following ways. It is directly on Scopus through your author profile. You're connected with OrcID, and you can export your documents easily, and on your personal web page with the Scopus API, right? So it is an easy process for you to get this application program interface. That is to get it integrated with the Elsevier data for your other works as well. So Scopus Journal means we are talking about a journal which is indexed in Scopus. So be very clear. Scopus is a database which has more than 25,000 journals under this. So Scopus Journal means we are talking about a journal which is indexed in Scopus. It is a sort of physical evidence that the journal is marked authentic and reputed by the Scopus. So once a journal is inside the database of a Scopus, it is authentic and it is marked as a reputed journal for your publication, and it will be indexed in Scopus. Scopus indexing is Elsevier's service, adding all focused academic journals to its index for connecting relevant research. So, a Scopus index journal is therefore prized for a global access across libraries and aids decisions regarding institutional subscriptions, meaning an instant recognition for authors and researchers in making possible analysis of data regarding impact of the journals and its relevance to audiences across the subjects prized by researchers in both sciences and social sciences. So this is a platform. And as you know, Scopus Journal is the journals that are indexed under Scopus. So the authentication to know whether it is truly a journal which comes under Scopus. So there are certain aspects which we can understand. This is under Scopus, and they also have certain aspects through which they retain the journals. So based on the descriptions of WOS, Scopus, and dimensions from Clarivate Analytics, Elsevier, and Digital Science, it is determined there are 4 differences between the databases that could influence the result of bibliometric analysis that use them. So the database, as I told you, there are different databases. Basically, they differ in different aspects adhering to the rules. These differences lie in number. One database will have more number of. It also depends on, these differences lies in the number, the types of documents indexed, and the completeness of citation linkages between indexed documents, the inclusion criteria applied to content, and how items are classified to disciplines. So these 4 areas under which the database are different from. Maybe it is Scopus or Web of Science or the dimensions, the Clarivate, Elsevier or Digital Science, etc. So each of these aspects is important as the environment of database both defines how any publication is valued in terms of citations within the database and the context against which the publications are normalized. Maybe this is going to be too much for you to take in, but this is the real backdrop of how the databases are given weightage as per the criteria that they fall into these 4 categories. Yes, next we move to Scopus Search. So to search for Scopus, I've given you a link which can help you search for Scopus on Elsevier sites. You can always log into the websites that has been given here. Clarivate Analytics and the master journal list, which is given here for you to get an idea how you could just get into the link to see, or you can just explore how it is. Yes, moving on to the next slide. Scopus brings together the superior quality, the coverage of Scopus data, as well as the advanced analytics and technology in one solution. It helps combat predatory publishing and protect the integrity of the scholarly record. This is something which is very important, and it makes the research workflow more efficient and effective. And it also empowers institutions to bolster performance, rank, and reputation. Also enable funders to optimize their investments. So these are together, or the superior quality of the Scopus, which helps definitely the researchers. And moving on to the next slide. Yes, the next slide. Yes, we also identify the emerging trends. So new discoveries drive scientific research forward. Of course, every day it is things are changing. Things around us, I mean academically, when we go back 20 years and then just compare to the situations that we are right now. So there are drastic changes in the scientific research areas we are forwarding. I know we are going forward in all the aspects. Further, knowing the latest trends can influence and drive decision making. So we are moving towards something to know more And Scopus has this kind of comprehensive scientific data and literature which keeps growing, and analytical tools to keep you up to date and ahead of competition. It is not just the very old database that we have, it just keeps updating itself. And also Scopus delivers more global content, which is more than 50% to 230% depending on the region than the nearest competitors. So you can see how many active journals we have in Scopus active book series and trade journals and so on. So in order to stay on the top of those trends, you need access to database with broad, high quality research coverage and ability to notify. So Scopus has its, updation all the time. So it is updated with all this, as you could see with the current positions that we have, 60.3% of active journals, and it is, it is staying in trend with the updation, which is the need of the hour. Moving on to the next slide. These are the updates that we have. The content is updated daily compared to the competitors who only update weekly. So this is something which updates daily. And you can set alerts to see exactly when new developments in your field of interest are published. There is an alert option where you can be a part of it. You can become, you can subscribe for alerts, which will give you on daily basis what are the updates that is being done. For any researcher, it's crucial to know that your research is easily discovered and that you can accurately capture references and citations to measure influence. Scopus supports both. So it is very easy to give citation through Scopus. You have a special option called a cite, so you can just click on it and you get the citation on whatever index you want it in, APA or MLA style, so you get it handy. And the ability to track and analyze citations and publications accurately and claim authorship allows Scopus users to take control of their future and their own reputations. So you have this kind of claiming authorship, and it gives the publication accuracy. Together, no other platform delivers the same level of visibility and discoverability. So this is a special area which helps, enables the researchers to have this kind of platform where they can really enjoy the benefits. So it is 65% of surveyed Scopus users cite tracking citations and other things which they can use it for their research purpose. And I'm just rushing up as I could because of the time strain. Scopus is it's a user-friendly analytical tools, and API enable you to further visualize and analyze emerging trends via your preferred websites and applications. So these are a number of publications and millions of recent ones, the other profiles, author profiles, and so on, which I have given here. And moving on to the next slide. As I told you, just H index is very important. It's a metric for evaluating the cumulative impact of an author's scholarly output and performance. Measures the quantity and quality by comparing publications to citations. Number of citations increases your H index. The H index corrects for the proportionate weight of highly cited publications or publications that have not yet been cited. So it has a bar chart kind of which tells you how many has been cited. So it can clearly give you a picture of H index, how it is cited. It depends on it is a measure of quantity with quality by comparing the publication citations. Another thing which we talk about is a journal impact factor. What is it and why use it? So impact factor is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. So number of journals that has been, the article in the journal that has been cited by most or cited by many other journals or many other articles. It is used So the importance or the rank of a journal by calculating the times its articles are cited. So if one of the article is being cited, and that journal gains importance, and that is how the journal impact factor gets prominence. And how is impact factor calculated? It is calculated based on 2-year period and involves dividing the number of times articles were cited by the number of articles that are citable. So this is the criteria through which the impact factor is calculated. And also we have another term called Q index, whether your journal belongs to a Q1, Q2, Q3 category. So Q index simply means quartile index, which is a ranking of any journal that belongs to a specific field of discipline. So Q1 is occupied by top 25 of the journals in the list. Q2 is occupied by 25 to 50% group. Q3 is occupied by the journals 50 to 75% group, and Q4 is occupied by journals in 75 to 100% group. So this is how you can simply identify whether the journal is Q1 or Q2. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, how to identify, moving on to the next slide, how to identify Scopus indexed journals. So how to identify Scopus index journals? We have list of Scopus index journals, and after this presentation, I would like to share the link with you in the group so that you can just take a look of the the number of journals that are indexed under Scopus. Scopus is the #1 abstract and citation database of peer-reviewed journals containing more than 70 million items. As I've written here, you can just see. To verify the targeted journal in the Scopus, do the following. If you want to know one particular journal is whether indexed under a Scopus, type the URL in the address bar. That is, I've given you step-by-step process here. And then it will direct you into the browser, and then select the title, the publisher, or the ISSN number. It is easily understandable. It is just like a spoon feeding. When you just go one after the other, it is very easy to understand. Give the targeted journal name, and after giving it, click the source button, and finally you get whether it is indexed under Scopus or not. So moving on to the next slide, Scopus indexing. So we have to have some on Scopus indexing that you have to keep in mind. Be very looking for whether the journal is currently indexed. Check for the years to the present. I'll just show you some pictures which can help you to find whether the journal is really indexed under Scopus. Check for any discontinuation of the journal, which will be clearly marked under the name of the journal. Look for details, site score, impact factor, journal ranking, etc. to make sure that the journal is highly indexed. For example, this is how you move on to it. You can just check whether it is a publisher, give a name, and you can give the publisher name and you can enter. And it will be displayed immediately. The next slide. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, finding the right journal. So for example, it is here, I'm just quoting one of the journal that has recently been outdated, which has been discontinued. For example, it is Webology, which tells us the coverage time 2006 to 21. And you can see the site score, how it has been cited, and all this impact factors are given here. So number of site score ranking detailed. You can just go through it. It is a Scopus coverage content, how it is just gained the momentum of being under the Scopus indexed. But when you see in the next slide, we can see. After the source details, we can clearly see coverage is discontinued in Scopus. So though it was from 2006 to 21, depending upon, as I told you, it has the criteria, the quality and the quantity and everything depends. So it has been discontinued. The coverage has been discontinued in Scopus. So those who are looking for journals which is indexed in Scopus, look for certain areas where you should clearly see whether it is it till present, whether it is continuing in Scopus or whether it is discontinued. This is something which is very important. Some researchers and scholars blindly look for just the source, whether it is found, and then they move on to publishing in that particular journal. But go into it deeper and just check for the details, which Scopus is very clear about giving the details, whether the coverage is continuing or it is discontinued. Next slide. How to identify Scopus Index journal? If you want to submit your research article, then you must target a journal for your research area. If it is for English literature, go for English literature, target that kind of research journals. And then the journal must index in any major abstract indexing databases such as ISI or Scopus or scientific, Science Citation Index Expanded. So it depends on what database you are choosing, and you have to find that target journal, whether it has been cited under Scopus or Web of Science, easily by going to their website, as you could log in. So evaluating the impact factor, just when you go deep into it, the Scopus matrices will tell you what is the impact factor of the particular journal. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, after evaluating, viewing search results, you can view the result, how it is, whether it is indexed or not. You can easily view the results through which you can get the access whether they are really indexed in Scopus or not. Searching for Scopus. Next slide. If you could just see, tells us the searching for Scopus indexed journals. You can type in the ISSN number, or you can just give them the publisher's name or just the title, and it will give you the details whether it is being indexed. And the evaluating journal impact also is given in the next slide, which clearly tells us whether the journal impact is good or not. What is the impact? It is a value that we get. So whether the journal is having a very good impact factor. So everything is clearly given in the site score, in the site score tracker, which helps us to understand whether the journal is indexed with a high impact factor. How to check a journal indexed in an SCIE? It is same as the URL that you're going to type. So Science Citation Index Expanded. You can always, it will direct you to the Clarivates, where you can just type the name of the journal, and it will automatically it will display whether the journal is a part of their indexation. Okay, and this is how you have to move. And the next slide, the publishing cost. Of course, people are wondering whether it has a publishing cost and it demands money. Publishing in Scopus is free, but there are some costs associated with publishing an article. The publication fee varies depending on the type of article that is being published, and also depends on the journal, the journals that demand rates for submitting your manuscripts. For example, if you're publishing a regular research article, it depends on the article, and also it depends on the journals that demand money. So if you're publishing a book or a chapter, it also has, this is a source that has been taken from the internet, which tells us that they do, the journals from their side do cost some cost, for their publication. The next slide. Publishing in Scopus has many benefits. It also allows researchers to share their research, and to publish your article, you need to create an account on the Scopus or the services website, and then you have the journals being displayed, and you can choose the right journal for your research area, and then you can proceed by by sending your articles to that particular journal, and which will revert back to you within 3 days of time. As we move to the next slide. Yes, so collaboration is the mother of innovation in today's world, and Scopus makes it simple to find new partners. So through this Scopus, you can always have collaboration with other researchers. Through your author profile, people will be able to get in touch with you, with your institutions, which gains accuracy, and through this your institution also grows along with you. With your research publication, you notice it can collaborate with other institutions as well. So this is a platform which can help people grow together. And in the next slide, because Scopus is currently the leading indexing database preferred by a good number of universities, there is a belief that only Scopus journals are reputed. This is not the case. There are so many journals that are also not registered under Scopus, but it depends on the institution what it demands. For example, we have Google Scholar, Scosref, so many databases. Depends on institution which demands a database under which their journals to be or their articles to be indexed. Also, other multidisciplinary databases such as Web of Science or ProQuest Central are similar rigorous in their selection criteria, which are stand on the top. So how do I check my citations in Scopus? After just going into the website, you should follow a step-by-step process which is highlighted. Just go to the drop-down list of the primary search which is available for the options source title. This is what has been listed to check how your citations in Scopus are. It is, as I told you, it is a foolproof. You can just go step by step to follow to check your citation results. And the next slide. Tips for publishing in Scopus, a step-by-step guide, which also you saw in the previous slide. The first step is to figure out which journal you would be good fit to work. Choose the journal. Check for their database in the Scopus site. And it immediately gives you whether you can just go for the site score, you can go for the journal impact, the evaluation of that, and everything you can just go through, as it is very handy for you to look in. And after selecting the journal, you can just see whether it has currently under Scopus, whether it is discontinued or still it is on, and check all these details. Once you find it, everything is good. So you can move on to publishing it. Do I have to pay to index in Scopus? As I told you, there are fees being imposed by so many journals, but Scopus do not impose any publication fee whatsoever. So these are the charges. They can fluctuate considerably on Scopus. Popular publications, normally they are unusual in terms. So it is a processing fee as they ask for. Depends on the journals which you ought to publish, which you tend to publish. The next slide. We are almost towards the end. So the important points about publishing in Scopus. As a student, it is important you publish your research papers in journals and in conferences. This will help you build your credibility as an academician, which may lead to a better opportunity. So, however, helping in Scopus will definitely help you progress more, as it has a world leading scholarly journals. In addition, their indexing quality assurance team ensures that the articles are selected based on strict criteria, fact factor, relevance, quality, everything. And publishing in Scopus also provides many benefits like visibility, as I've talked to you about earlier. And the last slide. Yes, this is the idea behind Scopus and the publishing aspect. You can always contact me to my mobile number or mail ID. I am willing to share the list of journals that come under Scopus indexed. So I can share with you if you could just drop me a message through WhatsApp or to my email ID. And thank you for listening. Maybe this could be more to take in, but I think I have at least given you a rough idea of how you could proceed. thank you so much for the opportunity once again. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will definitely help you with the knowledge and the experience that I have, I can share with you.
Now it's time for queries. Dear participants, if you have any doubts regarding Scopus Index Journal publication, you can clarify it with our resource person.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, madam. Is it audible?
Yes, sir. It is audible. You can.
Ma'am, right now there is no Scopus Journal, madam. Last year removed more than 60,000 journals in from Scopus, madam. Please tell me some journals, madam. Past publication.
Yeah, sir, it is, as I told you, there are journals which are being discontinued in a large amount. It is basically because of the quality that they are producing. When they enter into the Scopus indexed journal, Scopus index database, they have this quality. But when the criteria goes down and when they find that that is not up to their, to the mark, it will be discontinued by the Scopus database. For your, request, I have a, list of journals that are currently in, which are under Scopus indexed, which I can share with you if you could just drop a message to my mail or to my WhatsApp number.
Madam, this month paper published in Scopus, madam. Journal is belongs to Scopus. Next month removed.
Yes.
Some papers are indexed for this month.
Yes.
But next month removed the paper also. Indexed paper also removed from the same journal and the Scopus database also. Why, madam?
Yes, sir, that is what I told you. See, even before you could just go for publication in certain journals. You just go to Scopus, which gives a very clear idea of whether the journal has been highly indexed, whether the site score is good. You have to look in for the years from which year to which year they are under Scopus, whether they are discontinued or not. There are so many criterias which you have to look through. What people
Madam,
try to do is
before sending journal, we will send the mail to Scopus supporting center also, madam, from the confirmation. Scopus also allowed, yeah, this journal is belongs to Scopus only. It is 100% indexed. But after publication, removed, madam.
Yes, sir.
After
See, there are
publication,
so
removed.
many. Yeah. There are so many, other publication people who are also working for this. There are some, group of people are also coming up saying that they are willing to publish papers in Scopus Index and trying to get, research papers and demand so much of money. So even before you could just think about it or go into such, publication authorities, make sure you go into this web of this their website and make clear whether it is really indexed or discontinued, because the Scopus website clearly gives you whether it is currently it is
Madam,
indexed or not. Yes.
Madam, right now some journal are there in Scopus active up to present, but it is not indexing. For example, International Journal of Mechanical Engineering, International School of Positive and Psychology, lot of journal, madam. It shows Scopus itself. It is in present. The status is present.
Yes,
It is
for
not
that.
indexing. Why?
So go for the citation. Citation index is very important. If the journals, the articles that are published in that particular journal, as you said, mechanical, international mechanical, go for the citation. If the articles that are published in the particular journals are cited more, definitely they are going to retain in Scopus. If the citation score is going to be very less, you can stay assured that it's definitely going to be discontinued in Scopus. So just look in for all the details.
But right now,
yes. See, sometimes.
But right now, journals also indexing, madam. Self indexing also doing through conferences. Journals also doing self citation.
Yeah, let me make one thing clear. See, nowadays the quality of the
Con-
paper is very poor.
yes, madam. Lot of conferences doing self-citations also, madam.
Yeah, see, there
Lot
are
of journals also doing self-citation.
exactly. So that is what, nowadays the research quality has become very poor. And, so the number of citations for that particular journals is becoming very low. And people, when they write a poor quality paper, they wanted to get it published in Scopus. And they just go in for any means to get it published. So there are other areas where people are trying to, as I told you, predatory journals trying to motivate people, saying that definitely it is going to be published without any peer review process. So they are easily falling a prey to it, and that is the reason that it is not it is not properly indexed. We don't look at that kind of aspect, whether it is really indexed or the site score is good. So unless you're looking for all this, you should not go in to get it published in that particular journal. And moreover, make sure the quality of your paper is so that it is being considered by other journals which are really having a high impact factor and high citation score. So with the journals with the low citation score and low impact factors definitely will not have long days to stand under the Scopus index.
Hope the
Thank you,
question
madam.
is
Very
answered,
nice
sir.
presentation, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Very nice presentation.
Thank
My
you.
view is, madam,
Yes, sir.
once indexed in Scopus, it's not removed, madam, because they all are checked through journal itself.
Okay.
I actually already indexed paper also right now removed, madam. That is not good. This is my point of view. Thank you,
That is
madam. Thank you so much,
okay.
madam. Very nice presentation, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Good
And thanks
afternoon,
for-
madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have few questions in the chat box, ma'am. Shall I read, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can I please ask a question because I am not able to write it in the chat box, ma'am?
Yes, sure, ma'am, sure.
I'm Meenakshi Kulkarni from Nagpur. Thank you so much, madam, for the wonderful presentation. But as sir was saying, we always fall a prey. Either it is UGC care listed journal or Scopus journals. Madam, we don't know where to get it published. So even if it's a good paper, and if it is published in a cloned journal, so that means now we can't publish it anywhere else. So how to be aware of all these things which are going, and it has become a flourishing business. So sorry to say these words, ma'am, but this is what is happening exactly.
Ma'am, one thing I could just explain to you is nowadays all the institution demands the professionals to publish more of papers in Scopus Index or UGC or Web of Science. So this is one thing which is driving the professionals mad to at least get their papers published in any one of the indexed journals. And when we are trying to do this, obviously we tend to have a paper which is of less quality. And when we are going to look in for journals with a good quality of good citation and impact factor, the paper, if we are going to send it for for publication, it gets rejected. And we just want to have a sideline to it, and we want our papers to be published by any means under good database index. So what we do is we tend to move on in a different way to get it published. And this is what this is the place where we fall a prey to other kind of predatory journals, which comes in and tells us that without any peer review they will be able to recommend our journal for publication. One thing I can make sure is if we have a good quality paper, I'm sure it will be observed by the journals that are highly indexed and highly which has high impact factor, which has high index and high good citation score. So once you think, if you get your paper rejected, or if doesn't match the scope of the journal, you don't have to go for an alternation to another journal. Rather, try to improve your journal, try to work on it more, and try to fit to the scope of the journal that you have already sent. You have a lot of Taylor Francis, we have Springer, so many journals that gives opens their platform to observe in the articles. So try to improvise your research and try to send it back so that it gets published, rather than just moving away from it just for the sake of getting it published by any means. Where if we are going to give a poor quality paper, definitely it is going to be published in a poor quality journal which is not going to be indexed for some time. As I told you, a Scopus database will always have this updation every day, so it looks in for. So once the journal papers are articles are published in the journal and it has not been cited for a number of years, obviously the rate of that particular journal goes down, and obviously it's going to be discontinued from Scopus. So we have to, before we I appreciate you for coming up with this. Though we write good papers, we have to wait to get our papers published, rather than hurrying up with some other publication which is not indexed under Scopus. So one thing you can do is, if the paper is rejected by other journals or the journals which are highly indexed, you can just improvise your paper and then get it published. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
It seems Dr. Abhijit is there to ask a question, ma'am. He's an editor from a reviewed journal. Dr. Abhijit?
Do you have any question?
Sir, do you have any question?
He has raised his hand.
Hello.
Dr. Abhijit? But he's there online only, ma'am.
Oh.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes,
ma'am.
Hello, Jayanti. That was a wonderful presentation. This is Kavita here.
Thanks, Kavita.
Yeah, your presentation was in for buzz. I just have an observation that I hope the Scopus becomes a little more democratic in their process of getting other journals into it. I hope there are people working towards it.
Yes.
You agree with that? I hope they do that. But thank you for the great presentation.
Thanks, Kavita.
Yeah, I only have this observation that it has to be more democratic.
Yes, definitely it should. Yes, I agree to your point of view.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question from Soumya Tiwari, and she has congratulated you, and she asks, she is a research scholar from the Department of English Literature, and she asks, how can I find trusted journal listed under Scopus? Kindly guide me, ma'am. If you have list, kindly share the listed journal for literature. This is her question, ma'am.
Yes, there are trusted journals for literature and language under Scopus, and I do have a list of it. I think she can just send a message or a drop message to my WhatsApp number or to my email ID, where I can send her the Excel sheet which contains a number of journals that are currently indexed under Scopus. So there are a lot on literature, but not that much compared to science. But we have quite a number of journals which can help her publish her research articles.
Thank you, ma'am. And there is another question from Dr. Abhijit, sir. How to know if the topic I'm writing on has the potential to be published in an Elsevier journal?
Yes, there are certain criterias which Elsevier or Scopus or Web of Science demands, and also the journals. Your article should always focus on a problem, and the problem, how you're going to investigate, and what the challenges of the problems and the outcome. And as I always have a talk with my research scholars, it is very important what you're bringing anew to our society, which helps kind of through your article, what is that you can bring something new to society. But that's going to be your research on education or on language or literature, something new that you're going to give. Totally, what is that problem that you're going to investigate, and the challenges, and how the outcome is going to be. So if your paper fits into this criteria of finding something new to give to the society, and the problem that is existing, and there's going to be a solution to it. Definitely Elsevier and Scopus are welcoming such papers, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is another participant who wants to know, where do we get the list? This is her question, ma'am.
It is published online, and it has been sent across to the people who are in members of Scopus, and I do have the list, and it is also it is easily downloadable as a PDF format from online. If you could just go to the website and just type the current list of journals indexed in Scopus 2022, I guess you will be able to download that PDF.
Thank you, ma'am. And Dr. M. Rajagohila asks, many science journals reject a paper if we upload it through free of publication, but same journal asks high amount for publication. So what to do, ma'am? This is her question.
As I told you, there are journals which demand money. They have a kind of a cost which the journals which demand a huge amount as well. So it depends on the journals. As I told you, there are journals in Web of Sciences and Scopus, some journals which don't don't demand money. I have published a paper in Sage Journal. I haven't paid even a penny from my pocket, but then it was published after a long time. We do have to wait sometimes to get our works done, because once we submit it, we have to get it after the peer reviewed with lot of corrections and errors, which has to be modified. And there are some journals which they themselves will go a step ahead by removing the plagiarism or the errors or some corrections, for which they really demand a processing fee, which is going to be huge. So it depends on the journals, and depends on the quality of the paper that we are going to send. So as I told you, it also costs for getting it published, and there are journals which don't demand money. And I've published my paper in Scopus, in Web of Science Sage journals without any cost or any. That is what I'm telling you. Not even a penny from my side, but it was published after a year. And you can just look in for such journals, but we need to wait until it gets published by doing all the rectifications now and then.
Thank you, ma'am. One more participant asks, how to find whether the topic or theme we have chosen are already published?
See, everyone has different ideas and different thoughts, perceptions. If we have, it is not something which is going to be entirely new that we are going to do something which has been already done, and we are going to just change certain things around. It's not the new concept that we are going to bring in, especially when I'm talking about English literature or language. We can, but then if we are going to do something which is already existing, we need to show some difference in that. So we can always, nowadays it's, you have this internet facility which helps us move across the world, from our place. So it is like we can just go through certain research articles which has been published in that particular discipline, to see how is there been any publications on that particular topic. We can always go online to check. We can check on the research papers, and we can find out whether any research has been already done on that certain aspect or discipline. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It was so useful and fruitful, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. for sharing your scholastic experience in the field of publication. So the participants would really have gotten complete overview of how to identify and publish their research papers in the Scopus Index journals. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. B. Jayshanti, Associate Professor, Department of English, for delivering vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jayanti ma'am. Really a wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Esteemed Managing Board of Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai, Reverend Dr. M. Sundararajan, Pro Vice Chancellor Academics, Honorable Dr. R. Kariprakash, Additional Registrar, respected Dr. P. Kamaraj, the Dean of Science and Humanities, cherished Dr. G. Madhubala, the Head of Science and Humanities Department, our most treasured invited chief guest of the program, Dr. Jayanti Rajendran, dedicated professors of our department, faculty members, and research scholars. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks on this historic occasion of our department. I am extremely grateful to you all for sparing some of your valuable time for this FDP and grace this occasion with your online presence. It's a well-known fact that not only educational qualification, but also the academic publications that matters in getting and maintaining a good job. So first of all, we thank our management for backing us up by permitting us to conduct this FTP and for extending their financial support to make this program a successful one. With regard to this, we express our sincere gratitude and special thanks to Dr. R. Hariprakash, the Additional Registrar, and Dr. M. Sundararajan, the Pro Vice Chancellor Academics of our university. I'd like to take this opportunity to express our hearty thanks to Dr. P. Kamaraj, the Dean, Dr. G. Madhubala, the Head of Science and Humanities Department, and Dr. V. Emmanuel, the Professor of our department, for their support and valuable guidance extended to all of us in organizing this program effectively. We thank our honorable chief guest, Dr. Jayanti Rajendran of today's program, who has been here with us online in spite of her extremely busy schedule. I'm sure that she has been the woman of the day, as the topic of today's FDP was the most inevitable requirement of each and every faculty of any college or university of today's world. On behalf of our entire organization, I convey my sincere thanks to you, ma'am. I take this opportunity to extend our most genuine thanks to all our participants who are present here online from different states and countries, and for their immense support and cooperation. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Stephen and Mr. Naresh, the admin of today's electronic days, and audience for giving an excellent coverage to our program. Well, an event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. My special thanks to our motivated and dedicated team of our department, especially Ms. K. Jansi, Ms. K. Surodaswini, and Dr. M. Gayatri, who are sincere and result-oriented. It's my duty to thank Dr. Nageshwari for offering her help in successful completion of this program. I thank everyone for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. Finally, we express our thanks to God, the ever-powerful immortal behind us, for giving us such great personalities and moral support for the success of this program. Once again, I thank you all. Really a wonderful session, Jayanti ma'am. We'll never forget this. We have international participants also, one person from Saudi Arabia, and a lot of participants from North India.
Okay, ma'am. Nice.
I'll send you the details also, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I think, but shall we share your PPT with the audience, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you can share.
Yes. And another thing, our participants, they have questions regarding feedback form. Today, there is no feedback form.
Okay.
We'll post it during the session tomorrow.
Okay.
And regarding the session, today's session, it is on the whole, it is recorded, and that recorded session will be updated in YouTube, and that link will be posted in the same WhatsApp group, because we have two WhatsApp group, and our resource person Jayanti ma'am only gave us this idea of creating second WhatsApp group, and we will post that link in WhatsApp group. Till that, you can stay connected in WhatsApp group. Okay, I think it is time we can end the session. Participants, do you have any questions? Yes, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you all the participants. We can end the session.
Okay.
Okay.